You look over from mine to his, and you know, the whole thing is just covered. That's the most I've ever seen and heard of on a camper. I mean, that's crazy. I know a lot of people come to my videos because I kind of DIY yourself. And if you're ever came and you're like, dude, I don't want to DIY it, I want it done really well, dude, then talk to him. You do it right away, then you could get a sweet deal on it. Hey guys, what's up? Nick here. Look, we're at Quartzsite, but man, it's more like Florida. Got lots of rain today, so it was a bad sales day. But I just did a video talking about like the update of our solar. And in that video, I said, check out this guy right here, right? This is our neighbor here at Quartzsite. He is a professional solar guy. And you can tell he's professional because when you look at the top of his rig, I mean, he's got tons and tons of solar up there. So let's meet him and I'm gonna show you around, okay? So this is our neighbor, Kenson. He pulled in, he's got some kids, so we were like, we right away went and talked to him. His business is monumentsolar.com.
Well, and monument-solar, there we go.
.com. And you know, when he goes somewhere, you can see all the people like look up at it and like, whoa, look at all the solar. How much do you have up there?
This is our test unit, and this one's rated at 5,280. Oh.
5,280.
5,280.
I showed these guys, so my system is more like a DIY, but his system is professional. This is all like good stuff, so we're gonna take a look, okay?
A little over a year and a half ago, my wife and I decided to go on an RV adventure with our kids, and my wife was cool with it, but she said, I want to be able to run my air conditioners wherever we go. Kind of a high bar,
yes.
You know, and came up with this design here. This is the original design here. We're over here in the Tetons. The only part on this that was custom was this base foot right here. These feet are 20 inches long and about 4 to 5 inches wide. What it does is it puts the weight all the way to the sides of the rig, and then it also spreads that weight out over that surface area.
Did you find that you needed to do the cross beams there?
If I hit a pothole or something and it jars that real hard,
yeah.
I got to take that weight of the system off of these cross members that go across, right? Yeah. And so these feet act as an anchor point to kind of create that truss system in there. So even if this were to fail, it's not going anywhere. Right. It's tied down. It's at a level of security with it. These are all the other components that make up the racking system. We decided that we needed to create a more robust bracket, and you see it here in the middle. We call it the saddle bracket. That bracket takes up a lot less space than the Z brackets were. And then on the ends in front of the system, it provides a mounting point for, like, if you want to do floodlights or put a Starlink system, definitely mounted on. So. Not Starlink, yeah, no. Let's work on that. We'll make a little mounting platform for you. Yes. This is actually on the outside of the rig. This side would be the inside of the rig. Okay. This, if you notice, this is how the brackets sit when it's riding down the road or in standard operating position. But the pivot point, if I were to take this and I tilt it, the pivot point's further from the end. And what that allows us to do is allow the front panel to dip lower than the back panel, and it prevents the shading that will happen if you're trying to optimize for solar production. This right here is how it's set up right now. If we step out in the street, we can take a look and see how the panels are tilted up. But this is how it rides. It stays flat. You add only about 1.5 inches to your overall height because the solar panels sit right on top of your highest obstruction. In my case, it's the air conditioners. Okay. And then if you look really closely down the center of the solar racking system, we have about a 6-inch gap that allows you to traverse the full length of your rig. Now, if you do need to get access to repair something or check waterproofing, here's some examples here. The panels will stick straight up like an X-wing. And once these panels are upright, it actually creates a safe enclosure for you to be up on top of your roof and not fall off. But
and so when people are interested in getting a setup like this, they come to you and you essentially consult with them.
Yep.
And you walk through like the weight, the amount of wattage they want, and all of that stuff.
This is literally a startup launch. We have put this through its ringer, 30,000+ miles on the road, just beating the tar out of it. It's now to the point where it is just absolutely solid. So we're fully ready to back this product. But the problem is I can't necessarily delegate out the installation process at this point. Right. I need to own the whole process. Sure. The design, the installation, the warranty of it all. Each one of our systems we've spec'd out. This is kind of an example. These are found on our website as well, but in essence, what we have is the more solar panels you have, this is a 14-panel system, you have to be able to take that power and put it somewhere and not have it burn the batteries up. As we build out a system, this right here, every system starts out with 3,000 watts. It goes to both ends of your 50 amp service on your service breaker kind of thing. Sure. If you want double that, so this is now 6,000 watts. You can also jump up to 10,000 watts peak, 8,000 watts continuous with these Quattros. We tried to make what was very complicated and customizable, and they're like, oh, there's 1,000 ways to do this. And I'm like, yeah, that's true, but what's the best way to do it?
Right.
You know?
Yep. So in my system, I actually use a grow watt in 2 of them, right? Because I went the cheaper route. And in my video that I talked about, I said I still like the grow watts, but I'd probably go to the Victron. And now this one here can do the 2 legs of 50 amps, correct?
Yeah. The multi 2 plus 2 times 120.
2 times. Okay. Yes. So the earlier ones didn't, though. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I think at the time when I was building mine, they didn't have the 2-leg one, which is why I went double grow watts.
Yeah.
And so my biggest thing with the grow watts was that it couldn't do the power boost. What do they call that? Power assist or something, where you had 20 amps and you can just basically invert everything, but use that 20 amps to charge the battery. That's why I kind of was interested in looking at his.
Now forgive me, because this is literally like I took it from the road and I just opened this up for people to look at. So
it's cool
covered
for
in
people to
dust
look
and-
at, right? Yeah. So this is cool.
So this is, you can tell, so the power from the solar comes in right here.
Okay.
I got 2 runs coming in. They go through a double isolated DC breaker right here. So that's my shut off. If I ever need to, I can just pop those down.
Okay.
So it's coming in down from the roof at a high voltage, low amp. So we're talking about 150 plus volts or whatever per series. And then I run 2 of those in parallel. You notice how the wires are much thinner. This is a 6 gauge wire. And then you come over here and it's much larger.
Right.
I think this is a 2-aught cable right here kind of thing. So these then feed it into this distribution links distributor here. Has all the fuses working here. And then the power can either be consumed by my inverters and turned into 120, or it'll be sent down to the battery bank down here below.
Sure.
I have pretty much 2 independent systems that are linked here in the middle, so I have double redundancy. If one of these fails for whatever reason, I'm not left in the cold. And then all of this is linked up with Bluetooth, and I pull up my phone, I can see everything I need to and have the historical data. This goes to one side of my distribution panel, the other one goes to the other side of the distribution panel. One goes to one ACs on one side and one's on the other. They do a good job of balancing the 2 sides of the distribution panel.
Sure. These are Battleborn batteries.
Yeah.
Right. How many? We'll talk amp hours, I guess, because that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But amp hours at 24 volts, I guess, because that's your system's at 24.
In 12 we're 800.
Okay.
In 24 we're 400. These are 100s.
Okay.
But they're 12, and I have them running in series right here,
Got
and then
it,
in parallel. Now something to keep in mind here: if you're going to do a battery bank like this, it's important to remember that I have my positive over here,
Yep.
and I have my negative coming out over here.
Sure.
And what that does is it helps distribute the amps across them evenly.
Sure.
If I had my negative over here, my positive over here, these 2 batteries would just get hammered.
Right.
And this one right here would be much less hammered.
Okay.
Right. So if that makes sense.
Yep.
These are truck bed tie down links that we then have secured to the base of the floor here, and we have these tie down straps that have just cinched it all down for us, and so. It's made for a really affordable and effective way to keep these from jarring around at all.
So I know a lot of people out there who want to do like solar. The question's always, how long will you run your air conditioner for, or can you run your air conditioner for?
That is a good question. So, when I talk about running an air conditioner on my AC or on my solar, I'm talking about, can I run my air conditioner and charge my battery at the same time? That's the goal that I'm going for. We can run both of our air conditioners and charge our batteries. I think run our fridge too, and it's still charging batteries for us.
Sure.
That's under ideal conditions, like the sun's out, it's summertime, it's not in the winter at the angle kind of thing.
There was a spot where the people were asking me, and we ended up going somewhere. We were boondocking in the mountains in the summer, and we would run our front air conditioner all night. And the reason why we ran it all night is because we would set it at like 75, and it would cycle on and off, and we could do that all night, drain our batteries about halfway, maybe a little more. But the thing with ours is because we only have 1,800 watts on the roof, we might not get back to full the next day.
Yeah, this thing will have the batteries charged from 0 in like 2.5 hours.
Really?
Yeah, like we literally will pack up in the morning at some side and I'm like, oh no, we're dead. And then I can get the jacks up and we're good. We get to our next spot by noon and it's fully charged.
Yeah.
This same size unit now with the more efficient panels and stuff, and we get to make them bifacials.
Oh, right.
And they're just suspended off the roof.
Yep.
In theory, right, it's up to like 6,700 watts.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
That's the most I've ever seen and heard of on a camper.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Look at today.
Yeah.
Right? If you have only 15-20% of your capacity because it's cloudy or crappy, and you have 5,400 watts, you still got over 1,000 watts of power feeding everything you need.
When we were on our other camper over there, I was talking about using your space efficiently and how I had to find certain solar panels that would fit between my air conditioner and the edge of the camper. And you look over from mine to his, and the whole thing is just covered. And so you probably can get really dense solar panels where the size to watt ratio is really good.
Size to watt to dollar ratios.
Yes.
It's a lot more affordable to get these larger panels per watt.
Yep.
They have all the new technologies, and they're meant to be abused in the solar fields,
Sure.
right? Like these are, I mean, you're talking like super thick, like tempered glass, like.
So you guys have probably seen that we're looking to get a new rig. So when I was up there and looking at mine, and then I look over at his, I'm like, maybe I need to do something different.
There you go.
For sure. But I know you guys have seen my stuff and the way that I do it, and I talk about used panels and everything. But then I've always mentioned when you get to older panels, they're usually bigger and you don't get as much watts, right? You've probably seen that. And so I've always wondered about these, and then I saw his racking system when he came in here, and I was like, yeah, he's got a good system.
Hey, if you want to jump up there and take a look closer up,
Want to go up
for
there?
it.
Fine, let's go.
I think they said yes.
I think they said yes. I think so. Hey guys, look at this. Look at how much rain we got. This is so ridiculous.
One of the things I can show you here is just that clip on the side here.
But basically, that's the same going all the way down, right?
Yep. So the same bracket all the way across. And I can't remember if I mentioned this, but even if I had these fail on me, if that were to fail and this started jumping around, there's no way that this will fall off of this beam. It's not going to fall and hit my roof, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And so it adds that element of security. One thing with this, you can actually see that solar panel support bracket more clearly.
Oh yeah, right
and
there.
It's mounted on there pretty good. And that is a high-grade stainless steel, custom fabricated. We've gone through the patent process. We have a provisional patent on this whole system. There are elements to our design that we've retained as proprietary. So like these mounting feet, the cable work structure, and how it supports these cross members, the saddle brackets, the catwalk down the middle of the rig.
So I like a bunch of stuff about this. The fact that the weight is being taken at the edge of the camper where there's support, right?
Yeah.
So you can see on my camper over there, I did the same thing. I bolted the solar panels to the very side of them, but then the top half is just on the cheap, thin roof, and it's part of how it goes, I guess.
And what's nice is you don't have holes all over your entire roof that are
Right.
going to be a pain in the butt to waterproof down the road, right?
Yeah, look at all the holes I have.
So
whoever buys my camper, don't worry, it'll be fine. But that's just part of how it goes.
But yeah, only added about 1.5 inches to your overall height. All the vents are still functional wherever we need them. You're not going to have little birds or critters like making nests under your solar panels. You can clean your roof if you need to, do all that fun work. I got a critique from one of these other influencers that looked at it all. And he's like, you need to find a way to manage these cables better. And I'm like, all right, sounds probably smart. And so our new components have a slit right here.
Okay.
For little Velcro straps or other ways to secure it. So these cables will be kept in place and those toward the center on that. So
that's cool.
They're not just laying on the roof and everything.
Okay. Personally, I don't think it's that bad, but I can see how some people would say something about it.
Yeah.
But
so
I mean, look at my wires just sitting there.
Pretty sunset capture that one.
Yeah.
Man,
right.
look at that.
Look at that. Very cool install. If they want to get a hold of you, it's monument-solar.
Yeah, so after we secured the name and website and everything, we found there's another Monument Solar in Texas. And so, hello everybody, if you're watching this, sorry, www.monument-solar.com. There's a portal that you can submit a request for either a quote or there's an intro call. And what we'll do is we'll walk through some of the stuff we talked about just like on this call here. It just sends me an email with your contact info and I just send you an email and I call you. As we were building out this company, we realized you're not buying the solar system. You're wanting to have the solar system to facilitate your adventure. Every purchase we got, all of our components on the racking system, we guarantee for 5 years. If you sell the rig, it's transferable. For 5 years, we're going to back the installation. And for 5 years, you can bring it back to us on an annual basis and we will go through and do a full inspection on your system, make sure to double check all the components, make sure everything's good, replace anything if we need to, redo the waterproofing and get you back on the road.
See, that's pretty huge because, as you're driving around, if you're adventuring like you talked about, you might hit some bumps or something and you want to check it every year to make sure it's good. So that seems pretty cool. So what I like, of course, is family businesses.
Well, and as a startup and as we kind of launch this out there, I personally cannot afford to have you not be happy with your system.
Same with me, right? I want everybody who has our stuff to be happy, and I'm sure.
Same. Right. For those who do an installation, if we book an installation and say this is the time frame we're going to do, if we go over it for reasons that are our fault, we're going to give you $100 a day credit until it's done. We really want you to get this so that you can go have your adventure and not just be piddling around waiting for me.
I personally think the companies that care about the people who are willing to put up $100 a day, when you have to work with big companies, RV companies that don't really care about your time, that to me is worth a lot. As a lot of these guys know, when stuff happens to my camper, I don't want to bring it somewhere.
No.
Because I'm like, I don't want them to have my camper for 2 months and I'll usually fix it.
Right.
But if you go to him and you're like, hey, I want a solar, and he sets you up for a date and you plan your life around that date, he's going to make sure he hits it. or he's going to give you money.
There's costs that you don't even look at. It's like your rig depreciates every single day, you know, and it's like adds up. So,
right.
So.
Well, sweet. This was really cool. Is there anything else we should know?
Oh, I just thought of something. So
you thought of something. Hold on.
We'll do something better. So I'm going to give you a link.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So there's going to be a link in the description. If you use that link, we'll give all of your viewers here, like, it'll be 10% off the system as well.
So I just want to make sure I got it right.
So anyone with your code gets 10%.
Can I take advantage of that? I don't even have my rig yet, and I want to take advantage of this. So, like, I know a lot of people come to my, videos because I kind of DIY it yourself. And if you're ever came and you're like, dude, I don't want to DIY it, I want it done really well, dude, then talk to him. And if you do it right away, then you could get a sweet deal on. I wanted to interrupt this video to give you a live update of some things that have happened since I shot this video. Just talked to Kenson on the phone. He's going to be doing some great discounts of the first 50 systems that he does, okay? So if you're interested in getting this type of system hooked up on your rig, look at the link below. There's a custom link that's made for our viewers alone. And not only saves you 10%, but it's gonna save you even more, up to 50% based on whether you're like the first 10 and what system you get, right? So the bigger the system you get, the bigger discounts you can get. So you can get a huge system and save lots and lots of money by being one of his first customers, right? So I know what it's like to be a business that's starting out, especially in a place like internet or solar, that there could be a lot of people out there. And so if this system looks like something that's interesting to you and just the innovation behind it, I'd encourage you to reach out to Kenson and so you guys can create a dialogue about getting a system like this on your rig. Use the link below down there to save 10%, but then also reach out to him and see where you land on one of his, are you the first, are you the 10th, are you the 20th, and see what kind of discount he can offer you to help him get his business up off the ground. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having a great day. We got some big things tomorrow morning. We are heading down to the Keys to do a collaboration. We got so many things going on. If you're brand new here, be sure to subscribe. Our family does internet for people on the road. We love doing it. We love helping people out. If you'd love to join the journey, hit the subscribe button right now, and we can hang out together. Thanks much. Hope you're having a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye. Is there anything else you want to know? If there is anything, drop it down in the comments. By the time you see this, I won't be at the show anymore. But I will get a hold of him and I'll say, hey, thanks, dude. This was awesome. Yeah. And I really appreciate it. You guys, make sure their stuff will be in the comments, in the description below. Get a hold of them. All right, man, this was fun.
No worries.
Really cool. Thanks for coming along, too. We're having a lot of fun at Quartzsite, by the way. This just makes it even more fun. Look at that. All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye.